All right, so we're on season 1, episode 2, Pixel Confessions. Jesper and Nettie they weren't able to make it tonight, but that's fine. These topics that we have lined up tonight are perfect for us, and I think we're going to have a lot to say about them, which is pretty awesome. I'm actually just pulling everything up here now. In case everybody's wondering what we are, Pixel Confessions is just a friendly podcast of a group of friends, and we're just having normal discussions about everyday things that we discuss anyway. It's fun, it's just pure, and it's basically we got bored, and or well, we weren't bored. We have so much fun in our Discord server talking about these topics that we just decided to make it fun for everybody else. So I hope you guys enjoy. We're just going to go around again. We do this every week. Everybody gets to introduce themselves. My name is Abby Lynn. I'm the owner of the Pixel Swagger live venue, a co-owner of Pixel Swagger, the blog in the community. Me and the Tegan and Aria started this venture many, many, many years ago, and Pixel Swagger is a brand that has been in SL for over 10 years now, and we're just keeping it going, and we're keeping it relaxed, and we're keeping it fun. Go ahead, Tegan.
Hi, I'm Tegan. I am a co-owner of Pixel Swagger, of the Pixel Swagger blog and Pixel Swagger community. Um, Excited to be here again for our next episode. Um, my interest in SL is I really like to build in SL, but my bad habit is I love to build and never fully get it done before we tear it down and start all over again. It's something new this week. It happens a lot, believe me. Ain't that right? All right, Aria.
Aria. I'm also a co-owner of Pixel Swagger, the blog, and the community. I am representing the stoners today, and I
Yay.
am the reason why me and Tegan tear down our land 90% of the time.
Maybe.
Overall, I'm just a troublemaker.
Shit disturber.
Yes.
Mm. Aaron, go
And
ahead.
I'm Aaron, just Aaron. I help out here at Pixel Swagger when I can. I'm a manager, and I have a special relationship with Abby.
It's a special. Oh, we're special.
Special.
It's so special. So anybody that didn't get to tune in last week, we do have an RSS feed. You can pop on there. You can pop on Facebook. Join our Facebook community. We have everything already in there. Every link you could imagine. All the details about the venues, the community. I really suggest everybody check it out. I'm not trying to promote us, but at the same time, there's something there for everybody. So I do strongly suggest everybody check that out. Um, so basically, we're just a group of friends that gather on voice calls, share daily Second Life experiences. Our conversations are pretty diverse. They span from casual chats to sometimes engaging debates, and that can be fun too. Our team members, everybody brings a range of experiences and viewpoints to the podcast, and this makes sure that we have lively discussions and unique insights on topics spanning from PG to rated R. And if you were listening to our podcast last week, we literally mean rated R, like NSFW for sure. Um, the chemistry between all of us it's unique. So I don't think you're gonna feel that anywhere else. Like we're the bestest of friends, and we're honest friends, and we'll call each other out in public. But we'll also show each other the most support in public too. So I hope you guys really, really enjoy, and we're actually gonna jump right. We like jumping in right into the first topic. Are you ready for this? I've been excited for this topic all week because when we have a section where I've been putting basically topic ideas. And when this one came up, it's actually Tegan Slade's topic suggestion. And it's pixel dating or polyamory, love and lust in SL. And I'm super excited about this topic because personally, like, so I'll start with myself. Personally, um, I believe in like just like straight up. If I'm with somebody, I'm with somebody. Whether it's SL, RL, there's no division for me. And I know other people that might be sitting with me have like a different viewpoint, and I'm super excited for them to give me their viewpoint because like we've had these discussions before, and I'm just super stoked about it. So I actually want Aria to take over this one.
Oh God.
I've been waiting all day.
Okay, well, it's no secret. I am married in real life. Been married for 4 years, been together with him for 10 years. And I have and I do and I currently am dating in Second Life. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm crazy about Noah and that this last month has been all about him. And so like, I don't hide stuff from my real life. He's in the same room as me for 50% of the time. I mean, he tends to go to bed earlier. Um, Nothing's hidden, although there are things that maybe I don't speak about because that could be awkward. But for me, I am able to separate the two. I love my husband. He knows about it in our relationship. That's not cheating. Um, I don't know that I would consider myself polyamorous though. As weird as that sounds, I feel like I'm monogamous in real life and I'm monogamous in SL. Even though I have one of each.
I don't understand it. I can't separate it.
Yeah.
I think that's me. Go ahead.
What
Yeah, go Aaron.
what are your thoughts on polyamory, Arya?
Oh, I fully support it. I think it works great for some people. I think it takes a lot of honesty and a very honest and open relationship with your partners. Um, I think as long as everybody knows everything and it's open, I think it can be really beautiful. I am a jealous person. And I don't know, and I realize there's jealousy in polyamory as well, that just because you're polyamorous doesn't mean that you don't get jealous. But for my own, knowing myself, I would be too jealous and I wouldn't be able to handle it. But I do think
Yeah.
it works beautifully for some people.
It's
Aaron's
got to
like
have a lot of
fine.
patience and trust in a relationship like that.
Yeah,
And
I couldn't do
I
it.
mean, it's a relationship that's rules based as well. Abby and I are pretty similar, and a little bit like you, Arya, in that we are both possessive and jealous, and
I
I
am
don't
not possessive or jealous. I
I don't
do
even
Sorry,
have
hold
not
the
know
on.
what you're
patience
talking about.
for a relationship of that type. I couldn't do it. I'd be too worried. What's going on over there. Like I have to pay attention,
Well, you've
and like
experienced a relationship like the in the past, though.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've
No,
all
that
experienced.
wasn't a polyamorous relationship
It's
by
so
design,
that's just
or by
it.
definition. It was
To me, if you're okay, I need to, yes. Okay. If I'm dating somebody and they're dating me and they have a wife, even if they can separate the two, to me, I feel like I'm not number one. I might not be I might be number one, maybe the wife's number two. But to me, that's like if I'm accepting of that, I'm in a polyamorous relationship. Period.
right, but
Whether the other person knows it or not, if I'm accepting of it. And I think I've been in that situation where like I've been with somebody and they were married, and it's it's hard for me. I can't separate it. Like I just can't separate it at all. I don't know.
but that would be polyamorous by fiat. In other words, your real life partner would know that you're, having moments, experiences with another person. So
No,
so
but
like that's a decision that you make in your relationship
no,
to
that's not
go
what I
forward
was
on the
saying
path
at
you're taking.
all.
Right. What you're explaining isn't really polyamory. It's just somebody who's in a relationship but also dating someone else.
Which, I mean, if they want to date two people, and I'm accepting of that,
Right.
we're both consenting to. It's just, I guess polyamory though is all three parties.
I would say it's all three parties being
Well,
aware
yeah,
of
it would
each
have to be.
other. Yeah.
And
Otherwise, he's just cheating on his wife, and unfortunately, you're the other woman that doesn't have a problem with it. Um,
Right, which makes it even like worse for me.
yeah.
I just don't want to be that chick. I don't know.
See,
Do we have anybody commenting in the
Not that
who
I've
didn't have my
seen.
Discord
not
app?
yet, not
Nobody?
yet.
If anybody's got any opinions on that, let us know. Jump in here.
So
Cause
I'm with you though, Abby. And I wouldn't be able to separate my feelings more than anything else from dating someone at SL and then I have a real life husband and I don't date in SL. But if I even thought to go down that road, I would definitely have to have a really awkward conversation with my husband. But I just don't think I could because me saying yes, let me do this is saying yes, let him do this. And I am a very jealous person. And
yeah.
I hurt my feelings so many times a day, all the time, just thinking about him maybe, talking to somebody in an intimate way. I mean, more power to you, Aria. But I could
right.
never do
Yeah,
it.
and let's make it very clear that none of
Mm-mm.
us are like attacking Arya because
Oh
we
no.
love and respect her
Oh yeah,
decisions
She
and
knows this, guys, too.
we've had this conversation a million times over.
yeah.
Um but that's the best part about this group is we can have differences of opinions or
It,
different
it
viewpoints and still accept each other and love each other. Like,
and the best thing
For
about this
sure.
group is I can go and cry to them about my husband, or I can go and cry to them about my SL. Like,
and we'll slap either one of them assholes.
Either one of them, guys. Either one. I
Mhm.
know where you live.
Uh-huh.
Well, I
We
don't know
know.
where Josh lives, or no,
I
I
do.
don't know where he lives, but I do know where you live.
I've already contacted NASA about Josh. We're good.
oh, okay.
No.
Don't worry, he
Okay.
hasn't made me cry yet.
So
So
I guess. Oh,
Tegan
go ahead,
Slade
Aaron.
says that she follows some thruples on social media and she admires, the relationship, but she thinks it'd be hard to navigate.
And that's my question. Like, how? And I don't want to get too far ahead because that's one of our next topics. But how do you, Arya, like separate it? How do you keep like? How do you decide that today I want to hang out with Noah or today I want to hang out with my real life husband?
um, I'm in the same room as my husband, so I guess I feel like I'm not necessarily not hanging out with him. I mean, I don't know. I've always spent a lot of time on my computer anyways, whether I was in a relationship or if I wasn't in a relationship. So I guess it doesn't really change the amount of time I'm on regardless, except for like the crazy hours I've been keeping lately. Um, but I guess it just really hasn't changed my time I spend in SL one way or the other. Um,
Mm.
and my husband knows, like, at the end of the day, my real life comes first. And if my husband told me like I needed to be off the game for the day or off SL for a game or for the day, because that goes into a whole different topic of last week. I will. I'll turn it off. Or if he says no, we're gonna go out and do something. Ultimately, that's gonna be where my priority leads is in my real life. So,
For sure.
but I don't think that whether I'm in a relationship or not changes the amount of time I'm on SL.
Yeah, see, for me, like, I don't know. I'm just a guilty bitch. I would just feel bad trying to pick
Mhm.
between two people and like I said, like I in the past I have dated guys that were in relationships, and it's always that same story, like, oh, they're unhappy in their relationship, and you try to keep yourself separated, but then you like get attached, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're gonna leave them for me or whatever. You get caught up in that stuff, and I've honestly always admired how Arya was able to just be like, I ain't leaving nobody, but you're welcome to stick around. Like, she makes it very clear and she's honest about it. So
That's
I
that
will
thick,
say though,
soft heart.
it's harder to find like good relationships on SL because of my situation. And I mean, Keegan knows, like, I haven't dated a lot on SL the last 10 years. I mean, there's only been a handful of people. So for me, it has to be someone that, like, A, understands the situation and is okay with it. Like, I've talked to people who, I've gotten to know and started to talk to, and when I tell them that I'm married, they're like, I can't do it. I can't separate it. And, like, all I can do is, like, be accepting of it. And not make a big deal over it, because I realize it's not the norm for everybody. And then I not only do I have to find someone that's willing, that's okay with it and accepting of it, or maybe they're in the same situation I'm in, our hours have to work together, because at the end of the day, like, I do have to make time for my husband. So if we're on opposite hours or hours that just don't work together, then, like, that's a big factor into relationships too.
yeah, I suppose. I mean, like I said, we've actually had this discussion before, but every time I don't know, I just get excited every time we talk about it, because even though she's explained it to me a million times, I just don't fucking get it.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Having that different point of view, like totally opposite of you. I mean, I love Arya. She's my best friend. I just love her so fucking much, right?
Right.
And then sometimes I'm like, I don't see how she can do it, and I don't understand it, but just I don't know. I admire that she can do it, and I do know that her Arya always comes first. So I mean, I take that in consideration. So and then I just admire the fact that she can separate the two a little bit better than I ever think I could ever do.
Right, and I also I respect the fact that, like, um her husband does know she, like, does whatever on SL. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's a big thing for me. And I mean, I'm sure there are lots of people in here in this game that are in relationships where they're just completely unhappy. I've been in that boat. I have been in that boat. Um and that's okay too, just to each their own. It is SL. We will never judge anybody for their decisions. The only thing we don't do or don't accept is people bullying other people and discriminating against other people. So, yeah, that was actually a really fun topic. It's a little shorter than I had wanted it, unless
Well, I can
I
make a point to what you mentioned, that I had been in a
good.
situation like that. It's not for me, hey, but I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm very visible on Facebook. Everybody knows exactly who and what I will talk about. But I was in that situation for a short time. Both girls were very aware of what the relationship was. But one of those girls decided, she couldn't handle it. And so that became a little bit of an explosive situation. So obviously that didn't work out. I
Mm,
it's not for me. It's just not ideal. I can't do that. I like to have one focus.
it
I
already blew up in your face once.
well, I
Kind of.
mean, it was an interesting thing to try, but
Onto a
it's
different
just
thing Abby had
I've
said.
learned quickly.
Uh oh.
What's that?
Well, no,
Oh,
what Abby had. Am I getting ahead of myself?
no, go
Nope.
ahead.
Oh, so Abby had also made another point I wanted to touch back on when she said, about, like, being in, like, an unhappy marriage and looking for SL. That is when I actually would not be okay with it. I feel like at that point there needs to be more honest conversations with your real life if
Yeah.
if that's what's going on.
Mhm.
I try, and I say try because sometimes it's hard. I try not to talk too much about my real life husband to my SL partner because I don't think that's fair. I don't ever want them to feel like they're just the person I go and cry to when I'm not happy. And I also don't ever want my SL partner to think that I'm in this relationship because my marriage isn't good. I wouldn't want anybody to ever think that. So,
Right.
I think that's a big thing. Is I don't agree with going to SL because you're lonely and your real life isn't working out.
Right. Agreed. 100% agree with that.
100%.
All right. Anybody else have anything to add to this before we jump into the next topic?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
No.
All right. So our next topic is how did each of you find SL? Um I'm going to let Tegan start because Tegan was actually my introduction to SL. So I'll let Tegan start and then I'll jump in after her and then we'll go to Aria and we'll go by age.
So, are you just letting everyone know how old I am in SL? Jesus.
We now know you're the oldest.
And I think I am. Well, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, so me and Abby actually were on. It's been a while. I'm letting everyone know our age. Sorry, Abby. But we both hosted on MSN chats. So we just hosted the chat rooms, and that basically was typing all day. That was horrible. I don't miss that. But we had a mutual friend. His name was Fast Drive Us. If he's out there in the world
I
listening
think
to
he's
us,
out there
hi.
somewhere.
Anyways, I was just talking to him one day, and I don't remember how SL actually got brought up specifically, but he did mention that it is a game that he was spending a lot of time on because of racing and everything else that he enjoyed. So he told me I should try it. So I downloaded it, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen and been in my life. But I did kind of stick with it. I was not working at the time, so I was at home and bored, and
Mhm.
I ran around getting all my freebies. I had a great fucking time. And then Bass mentioned about Abby. Maybe we can get her to come on over too. So we both kind of we didn't bully her. We don't bully. We just kind of pushed her over here,
Mm.
like, "Hey, come hang out. We're having fun," And then
She
that's how
locked
I
me
got.
into a stripper
hmm
pole.
Hey, I was working as a stripper at the time. You got to make money on SL somehow. We all got our start. That was my start.
That was mine too. I
And then
literally
I met
landed
you.
on the stripper pole.
Everybody's
As Ruth.
start, to be fair.
And that's how I got here, and that's how I brought Abby. So now it's your turn, Abby.
Yeah, well, that's basically my story. That's basically how I found SL and um through Tegan and Fast, we met Stang, who was
Thank boom.
one of our bestest friends in the whole wide world,
I
and
miss him.
I miss him too. He's out there. He's doing
Mm-hmm.
well. We still keep in contact with him, but yeah, he gave up the SL life for the good life. So good for him. Kudos for him.
Mm-hmm.
But and then shortly after, Arya came along. How did Arya get introduced to SL?
So, I was a stay-at-home mom. My daughter was about 1.5, 2 o'clock, or two. Oh my
Two
God, I'm
o'clock.
sorry. I am
How much
so
you have
high.
to? How much did you have to smoke?
I actually hit my bong like right as we were starting, and Abby was doing an introduction.
My daughter's 2 o'clock.
Okay, my daughter was about 1.5, 2 years old.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't have a car, so I was very isolated. And all I had was a phone for the most part. Maybe a laptop, I don't remember. But anyways, I was spending all of my time on my phone on this site called Moco Space. And it was like this ghetto kind of like Facebook, but it was definitely like mobile only type of a website. And I met this guy that actually lived pretty close to me. He was within an hour of me. And I was talking to him like every day. Um, and he brought me to SL actually. Someone else brought him. He brought me. Um, we had a lot of fun on there, and I brought about 3 other people, and we all kind of hung out for the first couple of months. I kept in contact with him for years. He was a little bit of drama. I don't know how you can date somebody in SL when or no, wait. We were dating after I separated. Maybe it was before I separated, but we started kind of like talking, and I went and met him, and we were kind of dating in real life. But in SL, he wanted nothing to do with me. And that was before I'd explored trying to maybe that was where I started to separate the two. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that was interesting. Anyways, he ended up kind of being a dick, but he is married now with a kid, so congrats to him. But that's kind of how I found SL. And then got into Tiny Empires where I met someone named Bree who got me into drag racing, and drag racing is where I met Abby and Tegan. And then we met again about 6 months later in Heroes.
The rest is
Mm.
history after that.
The rest is history after that.
What about you,
Aaron,
Aaron?
Oh, I am the youngest, aren't I?
I
You
think
get
you
to
So
be the
are.
baby of the group.
I
I'm
I,
the
I
cradle robber.
I essentially have
Oh.
2 experiences joining Second Life. I used to be on this competitor called IMVU for years and years and years, and I developed over there. And every time like IMVU would make a change, people would go on Facebook or wherever, and they'd be like, "I'm leaving IMVU for Second Life." Okay, one day I decided, I'm going to check out Second Life, and I knew that you could create, you could upload meshes and all of that over here. So that's what I decided I was going to do, and I logged on and I spent a day I think I made a lamp that was actually pretty cool. I didn't realize at the time that Second Life had tools in world that you could use to manipulate Prim. I ended up forgetting like after a while that I was even going to do it, so I didn't log on for a long time. And then my ex-girlfriend a couple of years later decided, I needed to come over here because she was having a lot more fun or whatever. And she told me about the social scene and all the clubbing and everything. Um, so I came over here, and then I had another friend who was already on here who was a lot more patient with me and understood like what I wasn't figuring out when it came to like, adding parts to my mesh because I kept clicking where, and I think that Second Life needs to get rid of the where function.
Yes.
Just use
Maybe.
add. Nobody uses where anymore except for like maybe a shape or an eyebrow shape or something. Yeah, so we came over here and like I instantly fell in love with Second Life. I couldn't ever see myself going back to IMView for anything except maybe to continue meshing over there. So what we ended up doing was, we spent some time that at this big club on Second Life, which is Exhale, and we thought to ourselves, we can do this. We can run a club. So we ran a club for it's still running now, reopened for the 3rd or 4th time. I don't know. I went my own way, opened my own club. So that's been the majority of my Second Life. But what I've realized I really like to do on here is, build and landscape. So that's for the last year or so. That's what I've been spending my time doing. I've been doing a lot of landscaping. I redid my sim probably like 4 times over the course of a year because you get into something and you think, wow, I really like the way this looks, and you start thinking this will work over there and that'll work over here, and then you're just suddenly unhappy with it, or you have a new idea and you just want to start all over. So that's basically where I've been at and what I've been doing. So my experience with coming to Second Life was finding out that essentially there's a lot of hobbies that I enjoyed that I couldn't really do anywhere else. And that's all.
That's pretty awesome. I love how everybody's experience is unique and their own.
For sure.
Right. I I agree. All right. Anybody got anything to add about their Second Life that they
Oh, but it shows how new Aaron was when he said, "Oh, I heard that you can import mesh." Like when
Yeah.
I started Second Life, it was like, "What the fuck is mesh?"
You
not
do have
even
to
the
hand
game.
it to IMVU in that regard. I mean, the service sucks, but they were using mesh avatars like way back in
Yeah.
2007, 2008. So yeah,
IMVU, we always made fun of it though.
We did.
of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah, we
totally.
It
were,
was that.
Well,
It was
and
the
I'm
big
sure they
head.
did. I'm sure they did Second Life users too.
Oh, I'm sure.
they still have, what they call them rooms, right? So like where you go is a room. If you think of a skybox on here, it's a room. Except that
Right.
there
Oh,
is there's no parcel boundary or anything like that. It's you just jump from one to the next to the next. But what is big over there, that's also big here, is the music scene, right? And so
Right.
there's a lot of DJing of different styles over there, and I mean it's not too different in that regard. It's just that here you have a big open world that you can explore, and that's the selling point of Second Life. The IMVU can't really compete with that, but what they have that they're able to keep all of their users is like they've got that music vibe, they've got creating, and it's more like I want to think of it more like live social networking, like a chat service, really. And they're
Discussion we had
big.
last week.
The reason they're so successful is because early on they found out people want to use their phones, so they have an app that they came out with like 10 years ago, and their app is actually where most people log in, so that's why they're able to retain 30 million active users. Second Life has roughly that number, but it would probably really help Second Life's growth or even bring back, former Second Lifers having that app available that is easy for people to use and allows you to access your inventory.
Truth. Truth. All right, let's get on to the next one because we're actually 3 minutes over for the first time ever. This one's a really good topic, and I want to hear everybody else's first because I am very guilty of this one. When is SL taking over your RL? Have any of you had that happen to you?
yes.
Some
Yeah,
extent.
I did. I know I've talked a lot about my current marriage, but I was married once before. And I wasn't, it wasn't a bad marriage. I just wasn't in love, um, with him. Nice guy, good dad, all that. But because I wasn't very in love with him and I was kind of bored with the marriage, and he felt like a roommate more than a husband, I did let SL take over. Um, I spent most of my time on SL. I would stay up until he was about to wake up, go to bed, sleep while he was gone at work because I just didn't necessarily want to be around him. Um, and I did let it take over and be too much. So I think obviously when it's affecting your real life, it's starting to be a little bit too much. And I did take some time off of SL, to build a solid relationship while I was figuring out my second marriage.
Yeah. Has anybody else got any input on there? Like, have you ever had like where just SL has
So
consumed you?
I do. So when I first started, when it was me and you were together all the time, Abby,
Yeah.
like all the time. But my real life also played SL. I got him on here and he was playing also. And we spent, I think I spent more time on here than I spent out in the real world.
Yep.
It was it was so much fun on here. I was making so many connections like daily, and Abby, me and Abby were like constantly together.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it also kind of, puts a strain on your real life relationship when you're on here all the time. And at that time, I didn't work. So I was
Mhm.
here like almost 24/7. It's amazing. I went to sleep because I didn't want to.
I remember us being
Um,
up till like 6 in the morning my
yeah,
time.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I did always, stop to make sure that if he wasn't playing on SL with me, that, I was still conversating with him,
Mm,
you know. But I think I think that's kind of it was probably a couple years ago. I decided that I spend way too much time on here. And I took a really long break. I think I was gone for almost a year before I came back because I felt like I needed to have a more solid real life.
mm,
And, you know, there's a lot of troubles that pop up when you're not paying attention to your real life as
yes.
much. So
For
now,
sure.
in this time now, I am only on here on a few days a week. And I do that on purpose because I will spend every bit of time I have extra that I'm not exhausted, with my real life, making sure he knows that, he is my number one priority.
Mm.
So that's where SL took over my real life for a very long time.
You've
And
always had such a good relationship with him. Like you and him are fucking rock solid. You're a good wife. You're an
it's
amazing
been
wife.
it's been a little rocky while you were gone, but we've gotten through it and we're here and we're solid and yeah. So don't let
Yes.
SL take over your RL.
No,
No,
do not.
I think breaks from SL are so important.
So important.
I took one in October. I was getting too into SL. I got hurt, and I realized by how hurt that I was by something that happened in SL that it started to affect my real life, and I did have to step away. And I stepped away for about 2 months, um, till I was needed, and I was needed, and I knew I was needed, and so I decided I was going to come back, and it was a slow comeback. Um, started with just a couple days a week, still kind of keeping to myself before I fully jumped back in. But um, I think I think breaks on from SL are so good and they're so important. Just kind of ground yourself
100%.
again.
The taking a break certainly is going to have a positive impact on your mental health. Um, and especially if you find yourself taking a break and realizing, or experiencing how much of a hold Second Life has over you. If like not being on there causes you to have, like a poor emotional reaction, obviously Second Life is too big a part of your life. For me and my own experience, there's been times where Second Life has affected my real life. Not to any like major degree where it's caused, like loss or whatever, but certainly emotional aspects of,
Mm.
relationships I've had on here or, running my club were interfering at times, not to, again, not to any great degree, but at times interfering with my real life job where, I'm at work and instead of focusing on my staff, I'm I'm looking at Discord and making sure things are running smoothly and also the same goes for a relationship that I had on Second Life. But I think that what what you guys are talking about and as far as taking breaks, I do think that's vitally important. I think you need to be able to experience your real life and step away and be okay with stepping away. And I think the original question was when is Second Life taking over real life? And that is when it's taking over real life. When you have like when you suffer some kind of depression from not being able to log on, I think that's the point at which you got to say to yourself, this might be taking up too much of my real life, or it might have too much of an emotional hold on me. And so like that's a healthy thing to do, step away. I think most people probably do successfully handle having a second life and a real life and not letting one really interfere with the other, but we all experience it to some small degree at least.
Aw. Tegan Slade saying, "Is it a
Mm.
bad time to mention I'm taking a break in July?" No, it's
No,
perfect timing.
we support your break, and we will be here when you come back and we will have
Exactly.
open arms.
Exactly, just like they did for me.
And
So
for
when I first started SL, like I mean, it was easy to like, keep separated, but it was also easy to like get indulged too. And it's like Tegan said, like we were like I guess what happened was like SL that's when SL consumed me was right in the very beginning. And like we were just constantly online together. But I do have to say, like, I was always online because of my connection with Tegan, and I was having fun with everybody.
so much fun.
And but I was also like, when I look back on it, the amount of living through my avatar that I was doing, I was still me, but I was most comfortable being me through my avatar than going out and being social, because I was always a social butterfly. I've always been a social butterfly. But right around that time, I had suffered a tremendous loss. And my socialness, I just didn't want to be social in real life. And it was so easy on here to live through my avatar, and I could shut it off whenever I wanted, but I didn't want to shut it off. Like, I could do whatever I wanted. I could be whatever I wanted. I could go wherever I wanted technically. Like the freedom that I had in this game and the friendship that I had in this game was amazing. And what was it? Like, when did we join, Tegan? Like, I would say that was 2007, I think.
I think it was 2006 or 2007, one or the other.
Yeah, and
I was
so
only here
like
a couple months before
Like,
you.
wait, let me look at Abby's
my
profile.
profile. Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh
sure it was
yeah.
You're
2007.
16. You're 2008
Okay, so
March.
2008, yeah, is when I joined. So basically, I just started living through, and then I had my first love connection on here, and that was how long of a relationship? 5 years. I was with this person for 5 years, and so then you start living through that. So now my relationship was online, so my whole life was online. And what woke me up one day is like, um I remember I was with I'm not even going to say who I was with, but I was with somebody, and they were slowly trying to pull me away from SL. But what really woke me up was I started dreaming of only avatars.
Mm.
I did not dream of humans. I only dream, like, all of my dreams were avatars, SL. Everything was made up, everything was virtual. All of my dreams every night. And I told this person about it, and they basically were like, I think it's time. I think it's time you take a break. And I didn't want to, because I didn't want to walk away from Tegan. Like, in all honesty, like Tegan was, I didn't want to. And I would try to pop on, but the more time I spent away, then Hurricane Arthur happened, and we ended up having no power for 8 days. And I was forced to spend time with my family. I was forced to, and like, I think anybody that knows me, I have a very tight knit family, like a huge family, and we all live in the same vicinity. So every day, everybody would gather at my grandmother's, and we would cook for each other, and we would, we'd all go down, and don't make fun of me, but we'd all go down to the creek. We'd go swimming because it
Yeah.
was in the middle of June.
Okay.
Like, I was forced to live my real life. And that's really when I separated my SL. That's when I stopped coming on as much, and that's when I was like, I definitely need a break. But I was still seeing this person that I had met in SL. And then after things had gone, I think me and Ari was talking about this the other day. Um, it was just later on that year that I just stopped logging in. I I just stopped logging in, and I should have still kept in contact, but I was living my real life,
We
and
disconnected. It was good.
I disconnected, and like you guys said, you knew I was gonna be back, even though it was 8 years later. I had to disconnect, and
Mhm.
but I also, one of the reasons I didn't come back so soon is because I was embarrassed about how I left. But now that I'm back, what I find is happening now is I spend a lot of time in SL, but now I have like I'm reconnecting with Tegan again, and through therapy, if I'm honest, my therapist reminded me that Tegan and Arya are real people, and they were my real friends, and I should not be with them if I missed them that much. And so I came back. And I mean, I'm probably in here way too much, but I also live in the middle of the fucking sticks and there's nothing to do but plant gardens. And I mean, I've already done that, so I'm just waiting for everything to grow. So I like building and I like doing stuff on here, but I like the fact that if I want to shut it off, I can and I will. But I love the fact that I have Discord now because I can still talk to my girls if I want to shut it off. I didn't have that before. We had nothing else
We
Mm-mm.
had,
to communicate through.
we had Skype.
I stopped using Skype. Oh
We
What
my
had
about
Facebook
god.
AIM? Yahoo
Messenger.
Messenger,
Yeah, but
ICQ,
no, no, no,
MSN,
no. I didn't have all that stuff though, because
phone.
remember,
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I was rural. I didn't have cell phone. I didn't even bother having a cell phone till like 8 years ago because I didn't have any cell reception, like
Oh,
none. So, but
I
anyway, I like the
I
fact that I have Discord now.
I did try to reach out in like any way I could try to find you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I found her
Aria
real.
was like stalker.
I
Oh,
think I found
we
her
stalked
real life
hard.
Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah, she found my real life
Hey,
Instagram, which I
that's how
never
we knew you
fucking
were
used.
okay. That's how we knew you was okay though. It took a long time, but we finally found you and we knew you was okay. So we was
God,
okay
you
then.
make us sound so stalkerish right now.
Dun, 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 dun,
I love the
dun.
fact though, I do love the fact that like we're also supportive of these breaks because it's important and it's healthy, and sometimes you just need the reality check. Like I said, if you're dreaming of fucking avatars, just
But
run, take the
you know,
weekend off.
Abby, I think at least once a year that we would sit and we'd really like talk about you. Like sometimes
Mhm.
good times, sometimes it was our anger that you were gone, sometimes it was
It
sadness. I mean, it varied
was a
from
roller coaster.
it was a
It was a
roller
roller
coaster.
coaster. It was.
But no, we did. We'd go through pictures. We talked about you quite a bit,
Yeah.
like good times in
Aw.
SL and how we missed you. So,
I
but we
definitely
did like
missed you
once a
guys.
year for sure.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't have waited so long to come back. Like I said, like I was just embarrassed of how I left, right? And
Mhm.
I was also afraid of how much I had hurt you guys. Well, no offense, Arya, but especially Tegan.
No, I know. I was mad at you because of Tegan. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was like, I could see how she could do that to me, but how could she do that to Tegan?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. But
It's
okay,
okay, Abby. I love you.
I love you guys too. All right, I think we have one more, which is actually perfect. Um, the next one is actually, and let's not name any events, but
No.
fashion events in SL. Um, Aria, I actually, you've made a few good points in the past. Like we've had discussions about like how events in SL are there's so many of them now, and it's harder to find like good quality stuff because these vendors are just like they're crunching so fast to like meet deadlines of like 50 different events that they're not able to like get stuff out on time, or the quality's not as good. Like I've heard you have an opinion about that. What's your opinion?
I have lots of opinions on the events. First of all, I love events. Like, I think it's a great way to. I mean, that's not my preferred way to shop. I don't go into in-world stores often anymore unless I know that store from an event. Um, I thoroughly enjoy going to the events. I have my favorite events I look forward to every month. But some of my frustrations is, like you said, that I see quality go down, or the one that really bothers me, where they put pieces of an outfit throughout different events. Like they
Mm,
don't put together a full outfit. Like maybe here they're gonna show the shirt, and over here is where the pants are from. Um,
I've never actually noticed that.
I
But
have.
now that I think
Oh,
about it, it makes sense.
Which tells me they didn't have enough time to do a full outfit, and they definitely wouldn't have had enough time to do 2 full outfits for both events that they wanted to get into. So I find that frustrating. Um, but there's so many that like you go and you see empty booths now, and I wish we could just consolidate it and have a few less, with some
Mm,
better quality stuff.
agreed. Agreed. Um, my biggest thing with the events now is like there are so many of them, and I really suck at. I'm a huge fan of Seraphim, but I hear all y'all shopping through Seraphim, and then you go like to the event, and you just pick out what you want. And like I don't know whether I'm just fucking lazy or I
I'm
I
lazy.
I,
I don't do that.
I forget about it. I
I do
forget
it.
about Seraphim. Yeah, and I like everybody is like, well, why don't you just check? I was on Seraphim. Look at this cute outfit, and it's at this place. And I'm like, why don't I ever think of this? And I'm always going to these events, and there's 900 bajillion people there, and then I have to go on the cam sim even though I have a premium plus account. Then I'm on the cam sim, and then you have a dumbass trying to bounce through the wall because they can't shop through the cam sim for some reason. I don't know why. And I've been just so frustrated going to events recently. And I've also been disappointed with like the items, so to speak.
Oh, me too. There's a few events I look forward to every year, a few events I look forward to every month. And I will say, like, the last couple months going to these events, I've been really disappointed.
Yeah,
Um,
like I like to dress slutty. I won't say the name of
what?
the store. I know, right? But I won't say the name of the store. But I literally stopped going to the event because I never find anything I like anymore because it's just oop, I don't know what the hell I just did, but it's all like there's no actual outfits. It's all just products. There's no
Mm,
clothing. And I noticed there's a lot more of that lately too. Or this, somebody will just put out just a hat, and it's like, oh, the hat's cute, but I'd really like a T-shirt.
right.
And not all hats work with all SL hair, so now I have to go buy 20 different hairs, so I have different varieties to wear with this hat. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been recycling a lot of my clothes lately because I haven't had the drive to go to events, and I know I'm busy with the sim. Um I I think we should plan shopping nights. Shopping, I think yeah, see, I'm already in like mode here. I'm forgetting we're on the
do,
podcast, but
do you
we should do
remember
Christy,
we
shopping
used to
field
go?
trips.
Alright, so we used to do that all the time, me, you, and Arya.
Yeah.
I will say the reason why I buy fat packs are for times like this where I'm uninspired by what's out there in SL at the moment, so I can just change my color.
Oh, stop it. You know what? Let's jump into that. We have 5
Oh God,
minutes.
no!
Fucking
Never mind.
fat
I take
packs.
it back.
No. Fat packs. What the fuck? Okay. I'm not a fat pack person because I rarely will wear the outfit more than once. I don't need 900. I would really love that pattern shirt. I would really love it. But
Mine
that's the
too, Tegan.
only thing I
Mine
would wear out of it. Oh my god. How do you guys like I'd be broke. One of those fat packs is a life singer to me, okay? Like really like that's the way I have to look at
Way,
it. Like
no
They do have live
way.
singers.
yes
No
Yeah,
way.
way.
I don't know about
2 to
that.
3.
I
2
don't know
to
what a
3
cypher
fat
goes.
pack.
When you're a guy, a fat pack has to be the way to go because you're gonna get 2, 3 different styles of jeans in the pack, and then each one's gonna have, the HUD's gonna have 20 colors, 10 colors, 15.
I
The same
know.
with shirts, and the shirts will come in different styles too: unbuttoned, buttoned, tucked in, not tucked in, rolled sleeves. So like from the standpoint of a man, it saves a lot of money to get a
For
fat
you
pack
it makes
because
sense.
that's what I'm
For
trying to
sure.
explain. So
Yeah.
I don't remember where I was going with this, but that's essentially it. I can
For you, it makes sense.
15 different outfits out of 2 fat packs.
Right.
Okay,
And see, I can't.
jeans and shorts are a no-brainer to me to do fat packs for. Some of my top and shoes and hairs are a no-brainer to do fat
Oh my
packs
god, I
for.
love shoes
Right.
and hair.
I when I go shopping at an event, I buy everything I like there. I don't know what color I'm gonna be in the mood for 4 days from now when I decide to wear that outfit. So I get like decision paralysis and like no decision is a decision. So like my decision is fat pack every time.
So for me, it's like I go shopping and I'm like, all right, what am I going to wear today? Because that's what I'm buying. Like, that's literally like, if I'm going shopping, it's because I'm wearing it today. So if I go to one of those events, I'm fucking wearing it today. So I don't need a fat pack. And then the next day, if I want something else from there, I'll actually go back the next day and they'll make an outfit out of that. Like,
So
maybe it's just cheaper for me. I'm on a fucking budget. Like, oh my god. But you got to remember too, like Canadian currency. Like, so I'm Canadian. So I think like 20 or what is it? 10,000 linden is what for you guys? Like 60 something dollars,
Mm,
Probably. Let's see.
which converts to almost
It was like
100 for me.
$23 for 5,000. So yeah, 46.
It's 44 for 100.
44.72.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Why
44.72 for
now?
10,000.
Arya, you
And
don't need a
can't
backpack.
okay. So it's $44 for 10,000 linden for you. It's $66 for me once it's converted.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, so I mean, it's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. So I don't fat pack mostly because like 10,000 lindens is gonna get me like 3 fat packs and I'm gonna have to wear them for the rest of the fucking year.
So,
Whereas if I buy each piece individually, I get a lot more out of it.
Do
And
you know how
don't get
frustrating it is to be like, oh yeah, that shirt was hella cute. It's gonna look great with these shorts, and you're like, fuck, it's the wrong color, and now you gotta go to the store and buy another one, and now you've bought 2 of them when you should have just bought the fat pack to begin with.
I'm still saving money because now I have
Nope,
2 of the shirt and it's still less than the fat pack. And
not
I
much.
fucking refuse to buy any more than that.
so
There's
I'm
very few shirts I have in like maybe 2 colors. That's it. 2 colors max. Most
with
of them is a
Colors
black
match.
one and a colored one.
I'm with Tegan Slade on it. She says she'll find an outfit she likes and she'll get the fat pack because if she changes the color of her hair, she's going to need a different color. Well, that's me. I take your hair
Exactly, Tegan.
all the time, and sometimes if it looks fantastic, I will have to go and get the fast pack
So
because I
you're
changed my
all
hair
fat
color.
packers. Okay, so if
But I'm
anybody out
a
there is
slight fat
listening
pack
to
whore.
this, I want Aria to post this as the discussion. So the fat pack. I want this to be the discussion on the community when you post it, I think on Friday. You'll put it
Yep.
up?
Friday morning, we're going to continue this discussion in the Facebook community.
Yes, please. I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Tegan Slade, for being so amazing in the
Thank you,
crowd there.
Tegan.
You've been so
We love you,
cool.
Tegan.
You're so
We love
sweet, and we
you.
love you. But yeah, have a good night, everybody, and thanks for listening. Pixel
Bye.
See you
Confessions
next week.
signing off. Bye.